Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good night, good whatever time zone you are for Enterprise fans. Tonight we have a wonderful round of 8 match. This is game 2 of xPankraz versus Infinious. I'm Scarcerer. Doing the wonderful restream tonight is Plumeria Knight. Keeping our buttons lit up and our items tracked is Step Lively, and joining me in the comms booth is Garen. How are you doing tonight, Garen?
Oh, I'm doing swell, Scarcer, and how are you tonight?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to do comms with you.
Yeah, a little bit of a reunion of the previous Bacchus team from the previous tournament.
Indeed.
So I think you're a little bit higher than a D rank from the last time, right?
I think so. Maybe a little bit. Maybe I'm a high C now.
Anyways, so in the first race, Infinius was the victor, as you see from the screen over there. So I know that we're kind of rooting for game three, selfishly, because that means more fun for Enterprise to watch. But I'm sure Infinius would just prefer to take this in two and get to the round of four.
I'm sure he would. This I was in his shoes last week. I know he's nervous, but I believe that regardless of the outcome, this will be a great race.
Yep, I don't know who we're starting with yet because we're seeing some naming schemes here from both racers.
Do you recognize either of them? I'm a little lost. Other than Tella is stinky.
And that Infinius has decided that Pancraz is not appearing in the seat, apparently.
I mean, it might be
Uh,
that he's calling Pankraz stinky because Pankraz always names Tella stinky.
he's not wrong.
No, he isn't. And Tella's had a much deserved vacation in this flag set.
What did he do to deserve it? I'm curious.
He enabled the accursed D machine grind. Uh, the wonderful event team wanted people to focus on the punching aspect of things, the wacky omnidextrous flag, letting anyone swing anything. And so they decided that early D machines needed to be off the table entirely.
Could just turn Eno XP on for that. Anyways, that's getting away from the flag set. So to recap the flags for Omnidextrous, we have 7 objectives. They're the same every seed. Fool Gauntlet, the only boss hunt. Lower Babel, Cave Bahamut, break the Darth Elf spell with the Twin Harp. Open the Troya Treasury, drop the Magma Key into the well after you've already gone underground, and then forge the Legend Sword with the Adamant and get a, most of the time, useless weapon.
But when it's a Lightbringer, you're very happy.
I'm still waiting for that happy occurrence to occur.
Maybe we'll see it tonight.
Trader's Curse, we probably won't, but we'll see if we even see the Forge on the table because it's 2 key items, whereas all the other ones are just locked by 1. And yeah, we'll see how deep the hunt is tonight.
If the entire rest of the tournament is anything to go off of, there's a good chance that we don't even see the character on the lunar dais, even though K Trap and K Moon are on.
This is true because if you were Cave Bahamut as your go mode, you're just going to hop to Cave Bahamut. If you got the pass in hand, you're heading right back down to the Earth after that. Or in some cases, we might even visit the moon because uh, if the other 6 objectives are all on Earth, you may not need it.
While we're waiting for our runners to get launched, so to speak, do you have any guesses as to what our random second kit will be?
Let's go with 99 carats just for the heck of it.
I'm sure Pancras would appreciate that, and I think I'll toss my hat in that ring too, in respect for him.
You want to take at least some other kit to get put at least two chits on the table here for that?
Okay. In that case, I think it'll be a Green Names kit with a heroin robe and a carrot.
Hmm. All right. So, should be off in just a moment here. 99 guys. We've seen 99 tiaras in some of these things, I think. At least I have. Which if you have mages, it's like your mages are set with that. I like to go first in this flagset Scarcer because you tended to see only a couple locations from the starting plan.
I mean, there's vanilla traps. It's weighted loot. Go to Ebon Castle. And I think both of our runners will be going to Ebon Castle as they are off. It's
Got a
a
Porum start with Eddie, that's stinky, and a rat tail.
and a Kata kit. I'm not upset to see a Kata kit when I'm playing one of these. It's just, a little more of what we've already got.
I think the runners would have preferred something a little bit more helpful than that, but Also, yeah, a little bit of a delay on Pankraz's stream, about 30 seconds or so. Let's see where Infinious goes. Probably, like I said, Evelyn to start with, because that's a pretty standard play in this flag set. And we'll head off to Castle Evelyn. We're looking for some heroin robes or some defense gear here that would allow taking the trap chests on the first visit. Uh,
Yeah, getting to that magic number of 62 defense to be able to sit in the back row and take only one damage at a time from the Mad Ogres would be very nice, and it's what they're always looking for.
yep, of course, if we had, a Sid or an Edge start, that wouldn't be as much of a concern because HP pool. Eddie does not give you the luxury because he has less than Porum does to start with.
Yeah, with a mere 60 hit points, you might not want to put any armor on him anyways, and use him as your anchor for the whole seed. Give him a drain sword or a drain spear if you manage to loot one.
Yeah, his starting agility is a little bit high to anchor without some gear like that. It's 9 to start out with, which get to RA1 would be yeah, it's about 24 agility, I think, to get there. So, or maybe it's 23.
I
That's
think it's
still
23 because two and a
okay.
half round down plus one. But as Plumeri and I point out in chat, they've found a rune ring in the middle tower, or Pankraz is about to pick up that rune ring, and Phineas has already found it. The mage resistance halves the damage you take from Mad Ogres because, well, I guess they cast Berserk on themselves.
We got a black sword, which is kind of nice. Gungnir spear for some defense. Diamond armor. Okay, not bad, but we didn't get quite enough to just take those, at least in Infinius's judgment. So we'll see where he's off to next.
They got the defense. They didn't get the damage. There was no real, like the combination of Gungnir's spear and Black Sword is good, but I imagine Infinius was thinking, this isn't quite fast enough, and he's off to Troya Castle, probably to pick up the freebie and chicken on the Flame Dog.
So I never had a pet flame dog when I was young.
I hear they're very hard to take care of. Replacing your carpet every so often because it got burned from a sleeping dog gets expensive.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, cats are hard to take care of, and most people prefer cats anyways at some point. So
Well, but then you run the risk of getting blustered as Infinius gets the Luca key from Bedward from our free key item.
that's an annoying check because it's a bit long.
Well, it's only a little. It's only long if you don't have a warp caster to get you out of there. I
Yes,
think it's a nice peak if it ends up being nothing.
as a restreamer points out, Edward is causing diplomatic incidents now between the Damesian and the Dwarven royal families. On War to Follow at 9. See what's in the box, though, from the dog. It looks like I take 2 hits. Eddie is going to helpfully drop. And our dog today is carrying Power Shirt, which is nice early power and defense.
It's a wonderful zonk.
It sounds like a good movie.
And it looks like Pankraz might have got a little more strength on Porum getting through that in a single swing.
Or just got a luckier roll, possibly. Infinious is going to go and check our character, and hoping it's not a dupe Edward, because that would just be nasty.
Well, if it's a dupe Edward, you might take the fight anyways to get to get Porum closer to level 19 for the exit spell, which is very useful.
Well,
What was this about
Sinashura,
commentators and cursing?
I have no idea what you're talking about. We don't have anything really useful, so we're gonna probably just have to do the life 1 locking to get through this.
And Pankraz elects to not deal with that.
Can't blame him for that. Go over and check the Antlion Cave next. Not going to wait for the exit for that, just in case this is something. Another Blizzard Spear. Thanks, game. We already have that.
Give a Blizzard Spear to your anchor. Give them a reliable way of knocking themselves out. Does about 300 damage. And, well, Edward only has 60 hit points.
Yep. It's through that Ashura finally, and we'll be happy to be out of the mountain and on the way. Kaipo guards who've lost their way and made it to Antlion Cave, I guess is French vanilla. It's 2 steps away.
And Pankraz, not needing the very low XP output here, is using the Blizzard Spear as an item to get the soldiers KO'd. And after it's just, and when the officer's just there, his solo script is to retreat.
Excellent military leadership there. Infinious is going to take the Fabul defense, which is helpful towards getting Porum up to level 19. Pankraz finds the hook, though, in the Antlion Cave, so no fading Antlion today. And Leviathan is the boss of the Fabul defense.
I mean, if I was being invaded by a snake of that size, I too would enlist the help of the local adventurers.
Eddie is a little bit inaccurate, trying to kill himself. So Porum will have to do it for him.
Which is interesting because he started back road. He had a bow and arrow.
Uh-oh. Unfortunately, Edward, thanks to his little mishap there, caused a wipe.
But Infinious was probably wary of the risk of wiping and did remember to save outside Fabul.
Yes, always be saving. One of the helpful memes we have going on, because you never know. Didn't look scary, but it happened. Lunar Sparkle here for Pankraz. We didn't see what it was, but learn from the moon is taking a bath. Porum is going to put a Star Veil up, which is going to eliminate any nonsense from the Ice 2s.
And Pankraz peeked the weapons shop there. It is S Pro, so the overworld shops, or rather the ungated shops, can only have a maximum of tier 3 items, but tier 3 has some items that are made really good by Omnidextrous. The Black Sword immediately comes to mind.
Or Vax from the King of Fabul, which is good for anchoring purposes. And as you say with the shops, Drain Sword is often what can be looked for if there's no other agility lowering equipment in the seed so far. And Infinious is going to check out and see what wares are available. And not too much from this weapon shop in Fabul. And Cute Bells, not really useful because their use is rather niche in this flag set in general.
I believe there's 4 fights you would normally take that you would want to cast Mute on. It would be the 3 Ghost Chests and the Baron Guards.
Yep, and usually we're looking for a sweeper with Quake or something on them to get through that in this flag set. Although we have to find a sweeper first, and so far we have not found one.
Well, there's still plenty of time to find one. There's the Baron Inn that we haven't seen yet. There's always a character on the hook route.
Yes, although they may be dupes as well. You never know. I mean, always fun when the hook route sends you down with only 2 or 3 characters available at that point.
Yeah, if there's only if this is a 2-character hook route, it's going to be rather spooky. Pankraz is remembering that he started with the rat tail, and now that he's got the hook and the hovercraft, he gets a sand ruby.
Okay, well that might be checked this early in the game to see if maybe there's a foo or maybe an edge or a sit or something powerful like that. You could even take a trader if you find him.
Well, the trader is much better on this flag set. He's got stats very close to his brothers, and well, when he can equip anything, he can make real nice use of those stats.
This is true, but there's still the problem of the trader can betray you, which we haven't been able to figure out how to fix that one yet. Oh, speaking of mops.
Well, there's our sweeper, and dare I say it, this might drive our runners up the accursed mountain to get more spells on Fu.
Yeah, depending on what Fu has and when he learns it. I mean, an early Quake would be excellent. A Quake that happens at 1800 HP would be a little bit unfriendly because Fu gets 3 spells per level per boss fight. And sometimes the good spells can come pretty late.
There's always one good spell the game likes to save for 1800. It's supposed to be random, but we know better.
I know nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. Alright, so Infinious
very early virus on Fu.
That's nice to see. And FF4FE is taking this fight in a place you normally wouldn't, just to get the extra spells on Fu here. Or you give Fu some things that'll boost the wisdom up so that it's a bit more damaging. And we're going to anchor with Fu temporarily in the overworld while its fast agility is more preferred. And we're going to see who's at Baron. Well, it might have been nicer to see before you had the 3rd character.
The seed, it's got jokes.
Yep, and we still see that there are problems taking Eddie out. He is really trying to stay alive, and now he's going to hide. Okay. That will be
It
just
works.
as well. Lobos finds it amusing, too. Infinious is going to double bag and pick up his Fu. And then I imagine we'll probably be off to do the same check that Pankraz is doing right now. Shadow is not hungry today, so we'll eat nobody.
The magic here is actually really high. So if the this virus should take him out, but if Golbez was allowed to turn here, it would have been devastating. Somebody would be eating the
if
floor.
Fu had been the target, it would have been very devastating. But if he had picked the 1 in 3 chance of Eddie, it wouldn't have been bad at all.
Would have been favorable even. And here's Rubicant, the full leg at Baron 2.
A full leg who's not going to last very long on stage because Fu knows Ice 2 and Virus, and that's not quite enough. Just missed it. HP ran out. Okay.
HP ran out. That's wonderful to see. I was doing the maths, like, oh, that's pretty close.
And just some samurai armor for that. So the real value here is the edge.
Truly very valuable in this flag set. If Fu wasn't around, he would be our sweeper, but with the Lunarian among us, I presume Edge will be taking a role of a melee attacker.
Yeah, and I think Fu isn't weak to ice anyway, since he lives in a pretty icy Crystal Palace, and Moon's a little bit cold.
Moon is very cold.
All right, Pankraz is going to go back to the waterfall to get another level on Fu, it looks like, with the spells. We are going to see, I guess, what this sparkle is.
Well, if it's Wyvern, we'll be able to see the Witchburn today, because there's about 3,000 hit points here. And this boss is... Oh, no, it's just Plague.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure exactly who on the moon decided to put a plague in our water supply. That's not very nice of them.
Oh, it was probably Zeromus.
This seems more like a Kefka move. I mean,
Well, I think maybe Zeromus was taking notes. Or is it the other way around? Maybe Kafka was inspired by Zeromus.
We'll leave that one to chat to figure out. In the meantime, looks like we're going to start diving the underground now with Pankraz. Or we're going to try ordeals.
Well, there's 3 boss fights, any of which could be our Fabul Gauntlet, all of which will give Fu an additional 3 spells. And it's still a K-main check. There's a high weight key item check here. It's a play that will reward any way it rolls.
Yep, because no matter what, the spells are going to be kept, and that's why I think Pankraz didn't even save before coming up here, so... Oh look, we have some dolls. Luca, apparently the dwarves must have taken a trip up here, because we've seen 3 dwarf things scattered across the overworld now. We've got a Luca key, a dwarf axe, and now we have dolls. That virus misses one. HP. Okay, if it happens 3 times, Pankraz gets a little trophy for that, I think.
At the very least, we'll have to ask him about it in the interview.
Infinious is the same play with the same Fu, so we will have... we have the backwards kicking Yang, which is always nice to see.
It's always funny to find the karate fight in ordeals because you have to fight it. You can't get the script because you can't have a Paladin Cecil before completing ordeals.
Yet. All right, so we're going to see now if there's value here in the mirror room. Tower key is something you're going to keep because that makes a single check tower.
And there's the
It is the
boss
wrong
normally
road, though. Yeah, so apparently the dwarves got lost trying to find a cannon and dropped their key. So now I think we're probably going to see... I imagine the runner's going to clear Castle Evelyn now because whose virus is strong enough to take all that out. And I think Edge has enough equipment to take out the Mad Ogres without too much trouble. Infinious is just a moment behind and getting through ordeals. And it looks like Fu knows Quake at this point, 1400 thereabouts, so okay. We're set for sweeping.
That's a rather early Quake, and Nuke is a nice spell, but Quake is the real MVP for mages in this flag set.
Yeah, with the K-Trap flag on, with so many fights having multiple targets, Quake has a lot more value than it normally would if we were playing just a see where trap flags weren't on. And we're going to see Pankraz loot out Castle Eblin now and see if there's any value here. There usually is. Occasionally, this castle has up a zonk. We're hoping for a holy sword here, if not a key item. And we'll see what happens. First thing's going to happen is we have to anchor again. So, bye, Eddie. And there's exit on the forum. Okay, good. Party arrows, womp womp. Those are pretty useless. And they're supposed to be at the pink tail anyways.
Tier 7 is filled with items you would love in this flag set. And arty arrows.
I was wondering where you were going with that. Yeah, so and who's gonna send the cats? Lose all 9 of their lives at that point. And an assassin dagger. That seems on point for cats to one-shot you. And Edge is going to take out these Mad Ogres, and yeah, we'll see if there is anything good that comes out of this.
You know, I think you said, you already said it's going to be a zonk. Or at the very least, you willed it into
No,
being.
it is not a zonk. So that means that our runners could have skipped the Fabul defense if they wanted to, because the pan was sitting right here for them. But at least they'll only be double dipping Fabul today, not triple dipping it.
More importantly, they'll only have to go into the Fey March once. Or, sorry, Sylph Cave. I always say the wrong one.
They kind of have to go into it twice because there's 2 wings of it, and normally if you do the poison treasure, you're going to walk out and then go back in.
Okay, they only take 1 trip for Sylph.
Okay, 1 vacation, 2 itinerary, sure. Let's see. Pankraz is gonna check the shops here in Castle Eblin, find some bandanas. Castle Eblin, town of Eblin Cave. Okay. Bandanas with some strength gear, which is nice. And now we're going to see what the hook route boss is in just a moment. There's nothing really too rude that can be seen here, given that we have a Fu in the party who is already got quite a bit of HP and some pretty powerful spells.
The only really concerning boss here would be Kanyatso. And even then,
True.
these are very experienced runners. They'll know what to do for Kanyatso.
Yeah, well, even so, I mean, just the fact that Fu has enough HP, I think, to get through an initial wave if that comes to it. I think Thunder Rods were for sale somewhere that we saw.
I know I saw a Thunder Claw. So they have lightning in multiple forms.
Right, I think the claw can cast lightning, though, because you need to get a lightning cast off to... Oh, there's a blue robe.
Blue robe.
We've been seeing a lot of blue robes in the hook route in this flag set. So that's a 50-50 shot here. It's either the Water Hag, which would be a Womp, or it is the required Gauntlet.
My favorite is when it's Water Hag at hook 2, but the Gauntlet at King and Queen Evelyn spot.
And the reverse is almost as funny. 2 blue robe hook route is quite a thing.
Oh, and Infinious tried to get a Bacchus wine from these Mad Ogres using Edge's Steel command. Unfortunately, it whiffed before he got a Berserk cast on him.
Yeah, I mean, Bacchus wines are nice. I mean, you do have 2 Berserk casters in the end here. You've got Orum and you've got Fu for sure. Once Fu learns Berserk if he hasn't already. Looks like Infinious is going to now get into the hook route, just a couple minutes behind Pankraz. Hello to the Free Enterprise Raiders. A nice race going on here between Infinious and xPankraz. And yeah, so far they've done pretty much, I think, all the same checks. This Fu is kind of driving the you'd already had both of them to do Mount Ordeals. And yeah, they're taking a couple extra bosses trying to get the spells up, and who knows Quake. So it is going to be a rocking good time on the mage.
Yeah, the Underworld will be our runner's oyster tonight with this high HP on Fu.
Yes, there is a blue robe that we've seen at the Ruby spot. We just don't know which one it is yet, because we haven't seen the other one. And Pankraz is going to find out the answer first, it looks like, unless there is something super rude here at first boss spot. And I think the rudest thing you could see here would be the Dark Imps, which we've already seen.
Well, of what remains, Evil Wall could be a problem.
True, although you do have the Eddie out for that. Oh, DKC is actually not exactly
This is
fun
worse.
here, but Fu has enough HP that this should not be a problem.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine, but if there wasn't a Fu here, it would be heart rough going.
It's not like anyone in this flex has ever run across a very nasty DKC with very little HP to get through it, right?
Yeah, I think you're right.
And Fu saves the day and gets through this with 275 HP left over. Nice job, old man.
Fu has really been piloting the ship this seed, as he usually does.
And now what we're looking for is there a pause after this HP up? And it looks like, no, it is the Water Hag. So the blue robe hunt is still on, and ooh, eat your Wheaties.
Fu doesn't quite have the same vitriol towards Hetty as Tella does, so it's a little more difficult to for him to knock down his companion.
Well, Eddie will finally take himself out there. And Porum is going to miss out on the experience yet again.
Well, Porum has exit. That's about all she needs.
We'd like her to eventually learn something like Cure 3 or Cure 4. She learns them kind of late in her spell list compared to Rosa.
Very late compared to Rosa. I believe 9 levels of difference.
What's 9 levels between friends? Yeah, a little Cure 4. Cure 4 often isn't seen on Porum in this flag set, you're right.
That looks like a sparkle at the top of tower. It was on Pankraz's screen for just a brief second.
Yeah, I think it was a sparkle. Talking to the blue robe we just finished. Alright. Pankraz is going to be the first one to get going in the underground here. With the tower key, probably is going to stop and do the tower babble first, I would expect. Just because you're here. Why not?
Well, usually the answer is why not is you don't have the tower key, but both our runners have the tower key. So it would be baffling if either of them went anywhere else to start.
Even without the tower key, I'll sometimes just rush this anyways because it is 5 checks for that tower key.
And here Infinious
yes.
is receiving the bad news of DKC here. He should be fine. He's got Cure 4 on.
Yep. We'll get the Cure 4 off. Oh, there's an Avenger there in the Tower of Babel. That is going to be great news for that edge. And yes, as our restream is pointing out, everything in the underground is open. There is nothing being blocked because we have Luca Key and we have Tower Key and we have Pan. So nothing can stop us down here. And Adamant in Tower of Babel. Okay, towers loaded and required.
I mean, when is it not?
Some people have found a very haunted tower other than the objective at the top.
I do suppose.
And let's see, will there'll be a third chest of value here. Sylph is not really value in this flag set.
You know, with the Sylph glitch off and everyone being able to equip those weapons, those sprightly creatures are not paying us a visit today.
They might if we had a Grimoire we just tossed off for the sake of it, but we're probably gonna see that either. FF4FE is gonna stop and do the tower check on the way up. And has found some blue robes, but not the ones we're looking for. These are just guards who are going to fall over as soon as we breathe on them. Infinious also falls to the Pitfall boss, who's undefeated in every seed we've ever run. And Pankraz is gonna go to the top of the tower. Yeah, push B to jump, you can get over it, but the thing is you can't go anywhere, so you're eventually gonna have to fall down. I guess. I mean, not obviously you actually want to complete the seed, but you know. Yeah, let's see what this lunar sparkle is. It is the snake. Good thing we are healed up.
Oh, but with the very low magic power here, Fu was able to dodge both waves and not need healing.
Useful, because he would take in more damage than anybody else with the higher pool, since each of those waves takes a quarter of max health. Orem is dropping down again, so we'll miss out the experience yet again. It's becoming a meme here, Pankraz. I didn't see the item, I did see Nuke, though.
Oh, I did not catch the item either. Our tracker, Step Lively, just says it's a samurai bow. Not much use on this flag set.
Nope,
Hard
I think the second one we've seen in this tower anyways. So yeah, that's just gonna go into the trash bin.
I mean, if there's something, if they find a legend sword and find something they want to sell this farm for in the forge shop, samurai bows don't sell for nothing.
It's true, but I mean, again, it's just, you know, time lost to actually make the sale, because most of the time you'd rather not deal with the inventory boss or anything like selling stuff. Yes, Pankraz did do the super cannon. It was the Baron guards sitting there. We're gonna find out what the item is right now. Let's see. Magma key, how about?
Oh, I'm thinking darkness.
Ooh, one for you.
The hardest of required towers today.
Yes, 3 objectives at least. Possibly more if there's stuff on the moon.
Oh, and Plumeria Knight pointing out that the tower queues for more deals, so deals was required.
Pretty much. I mean, there's still a chance that darkness only has Cave Bahamut behind it, but looking like it's pretty hard. Actually, it's a good thing that you checked the Sand Ruby in the seed, because if you paid the Sand Ruby thing yourself, it's just a bedwood or something like that. That could be a real problem in this seed.
Oh, especially if you had gone to Baron in first, seen that, and known that you have edge. You don't necessarily need... Oh, there's a Twin Harp. That's nice.
Okay, let's see. That is... Alright, we're just looking now for... Yeah, alright. It's 9 key items.
Yeah, the Legend Sword, the Magma Key, and the Gauntlet are missing from our screens.
And a gauntlet is still being looked for. Fu is just going to take out these ghosts pretty easy. Well, there's the Magma Key. That's 10 key items, and that is another objective down.
And That's the back of Sylph required. So if you hadn't got that food, it would have been even riskier.
Yeah, and this is slightly risky with the mole balls occasionally, but you have gear to resist with the rune rings and other stuff. I've seen up to 5 key items in this Sylph cave Plumeria. And oddly enough, when I saw that scene with 5 items, only I think one of them was actually of any value.
Which, that's there being more than 2 here is very low odds. With the way the fill algorithm works, 2 of the trap chests are guaranteed to be eligible to receive a key item, and it's a 50% chance for each after that. And just because they're eligible to receive a key item doesn't mean they will have one.
Yeah, so getting to 5 is like, okay, that's a very rare occurrence with this thing.
But Pankraz just got an Excalibur, and there's a lot of key items that I would love to trade in for an Excalibur.
In a package?
The package.
Yeah, package in this flag set is really not that useful because you're likely going to hit the other characters that you need without checking the package, unless who is only there. And the odds that the boss is something you can use 1 in 34. So I have at least one seed practicing this flag set where the gauntlet was in the package.
And it was a starting package. I remember that seed.
Yeah, package is something that's not really going to get checked in this flag set much at all. So if the boss is sitting there, it means you have to get everything else, whatever it may be.
That second Excalibur will make getting everything else a little easier.
Yes, holy swords make everything much easier. We'll see what Yang gives us here from the bed. Can't be a key item, but it can be a power shirt, which will be
That is very nice.
welcome. It's kind of like the discount heroine robe. And let's see, Pankraz is going to go and check the FE March next, which makes sense. You're already checking the trap chests with food sweeping, so 1 more to sweep out. And there's another key item in the FE March itself, and 2 boss checks.
And Infinious, after completing the tower, went straight for Dwarf Castle. It's what people might refer to as a stinky check in this flag set, seeing as that it's very long to go through for just 1 key item. While it is 2 boss checks, again, it's rather slow.
Didn't see anything, so this must be, I think the Antlion is probably the boss here.
And you're right, it's Antlion, which is a little spooky to see here. There's a lot of physical attack here, which in vanilla is all inherited by the big doll. But here, Antlion gets all of it, and Antlion gets to punch you.
There's a crystal ring in the FE March trap chest. Pankraz. Did not see that item that went by a little bit fast.
It's a package, which
Oh,
is
it's the sticky package. Okay.
I believe that's. Oh no, it's Pankraz already had 10 key items, so it's
Yeah, it doesn't need that. Aga Sisters and Octomam looks like we're the bosses down there. We're gonna say nope forever to that.
Yeah, no, forever and ever and ever and ever to that.
And Pankraz is gonna come by and do the Dwarf Castle. Perhaps remembering the previous seed as mentioned that there was value here.
Rydia and a Blarg. Oh,
All
he's
right.
just the boss. He saw nothing. He knows it's not the gauntlet. He's going elsewhere.
It has to sit through a bunch of Infinious is sitting through a bunch of spells there on Rydia because yeah. Slingshot. Infinious really needs this to be, I think, the Earth Crystal to really have it pay off.
It could be the Legend Sword would also be very useful since he already has the Adamant Rock.
True. I'm just going off the fact that Earth Crystal into Legend Sword would be the ideal play here.
You're right, it would.
And let's see. Dwarven fashion today is you can Drain Spear on your neck.
I mean, it's rather fashionable for our anchor.
Yeah, apparently vampirism is getting a little bit in fashion here in the Dwarf Castle, which, given there's no sun here, kind of makes a little sense. Do we see the Luca check? I think we will. We're gonna hit the Sheila checks now from Pankraz. Legend Sword here, and a pass.
Those are items you rather enjoy receiving.
I think that's Go mode, isn't it? No, there's still needs a gauntlet. That's right. I think
Gauntlet
Pankraz
or the Earth Crystal for Pankraz. So he's in boss time mode.
I think his next stop is probably going to be the Moon to try that gauntlet, just in case. I'm sorry, the Cave Bahamut, in case the gauntlet is there. So if it is, that's immediate go then.
Well, he still has to do his other objectives.
Oh,
So
yeah,
Twin Harp's next.
okay, he has the ability to do all these things.
But it's always feels great to be able to turn in the pan right before doing Twin Harp.
Yeah, because you'll have very low HP. So I mean, even if for some reason someone's not holding something metallic in their hands, you can easily then just knock them off.
Well, even then, with Omnidextrous, you could quickly go into the menu and equip a magnetic weapon, and when you try to take an action, you'll instead be magnetized. And Infinious has found the Baron Key in the sealed cave. It's a bit of a meme that you should,
yeah. It's often here. And that's bad news if it's another rabbit hole to chase. A little bit of a delay here. Oh, that's just bogging. Okay. Infinious is gonna have to walk this out though, because if that Baron Key has value, because there's two bosses we don't know, you kind of have to.
And it's something Pankraz wouldn't want to do, because Baron is a very slow check.
I even call it stinky. But speaking of not stinky, we have music coming up, so enjoy. Bit of a brief rendition of the Rebel Army from Final Fantasy II there from Eddie, because King, Queen, Outland are not long for this world, even in a spot where you can't just quake them out. And we have a pink tail.
I think you mean Artemis Arrows. It's another for the pile.
I don't think it's going to get checked at this point, because we've already checked the rat tail, and we've already got an Avenger and Holy Swords, so I can't think of any reason to really go there and see. It's likely just Artemis Arrows. And speaking of the items, we know where every key item in the game is now, except for the Earth Crystal and the Spoon. Where do you go hunting for it, Scarcer?
The moon. Because you don't want to go to Baron.
You may not want to go to Baron, but you may not have a choice.
There's always a choice. But
It's still possible there might not be.
but Pankraz is turning in the adamant rock, and Coco's going to forge it with the legend sword. What do you think he's going to forge it into today?
Oh, let's go with the fiery hammer. It would be funny. Well,
Something equally useful, a giant axe.
and there's no city here to wield it either. Elvin is sad.
Ah, but there's Omnidextrous, so everyone can wield it.
That's technically true. It's kind of avoiding the whole point of that line. Anyways, Pankraz is going to go to the sealed cave, so he's going to get the maybe rabbit hole Baron key, maybe not Baron hole. And tries to use a pink tail to open the door, doesn't work.
One of these days it will. Be more useful than the Artemis arrows it gives you.
Ooh. Ooh went down.
Edge is swinging. He should be fine. This is a little slower than you'd like it to be, but he'll be through and he'll get his, I believe you saw that this was a crystal ring.
I believe this should be a crystal ring, yes. Alright, so just a little bit of backtracking here. Both runners doing checks that everyone's already gotten through. We are just on a hunt for an earth crystal or a gauntlet somewhere. It would be really funny if that gauntlet is at that package.
It would be, because we'll not see it.
Yeah, I know neither one is checking this unless either one is feeling like they're so far behind, they need a very out of left field play, and I just can't see that happening.
Well, while our runners are chasing each other's steps, that presents a good opportunity for us to shout out our restream team. You know, everyone should give a follow to Plumeria Knight and Step Lively for, putting in the work to restream and track, respectively. Without them, this all wouldn't be possible. Oh, and you should follow Garen too. He's excellent.
Thanks for the plug. I think you're a little bit better than me, though, at this point. Anyhow, Pankraz is going to launch the whale.
The lunar whale. A moment to think, a moment to plan, a moment to decide which of the checks is the worst.
Well, the worst place I think to see this gauntlet would be at this point at Giant 2 if it's behind something really nasty at Giant 1. Because you probably won't see it then either. Then having the Earth crystal be buried somewhere in the lunar subterranean would also be pretty nasty. Pankraz is going to take the Cave Bahamut first. Makes sense, because if the gauntlet is here, the rest of the moon is basically pointless.
And with the pass in hand, he'll be ready for Zeromus.
Looks like Infinious is going to turn in the kilo checks now. It is the wrong robe yet again. A purple robe. This is going to be Mylon Z.
While Pankraz's edge isn't wielding a holy sword to exploit Mylon's weaknesses, doesn't mean he's going to have a good day with how heavy those attacks are.
Yeah, this spot can be a little bit punchy when all Mylon Z does is punch, but I could lose anybody other than Porum to this. Speaking of, and continuing the theme that Porum just does not get experience for Pankraz today. That is 5 objectives down. We are 1 away. And a strength ring.
Do you think the Gauntlet or the Earth Crystal will pop up first for Pankraz?
It'd be funny if they both pop up at the exact same spot, like maybe at the Maza altar.
That'd be wonderful to watch. And with how much gear and power our runners have, it shouldn't be that frightening.
Let's see who's on the dais if Pankraz gets a 5th wheel. Yeah, there's a 5th wheel here. It's
It's the other
Cecil.
Lunarian.
Well, this paladin's gonna get levels real quick if he manages to stay alive, in which case that puts cover strats on for some of these punchier bosses, if that's a thing. But probably Cecil is just along for the ride at this point. We've already got a pretty tricked out egg.
Well, I imagine Cecil is much preferred as an alternative Zerker to Porum.
Yeah, Infinious is going to make the play that he kind of has to and chase that Baron key that he walked out. So we are going to see if there is required value behind the castle soon.
Do you remember who gave us the starting key item?
Oh, of course not. I never remember that. Oh, Dark Elf, according to our tracker, Step Lively. See, that's why we have a tracker for these things, because I can't remember anything like that. Even when I'm running the seeds, I don't remember what the starting boss is.
Yeah, if there's the correct blue robe in Baron, I have to mark it down, or I'll forget.
Meanwhile, Infinious is really hoping here that this Baron Castle has the Gauntlet and the Earth Crystal somewhere, because I think that is the only way he really manages to catch up, because that means Pankraz's Moon Dive would be for naught at this point, other than experience. I get the Riven Room first, because there's 2 checks there. And we are going to load Cecil down with some Holy Swords. I'm sure he won't mind.
Oh, I'm certain. I don't know who wouldn't mind. I don't know who would mind being given 2 Excaliburs.
Possibly Eddie, you might fall over. Okay, so Pankraz is in face check mode right now. Check probably the 3 altars down here first and see if any one of them is exactly the Gauntlet. I did not catch that boss. I barely even saw it in the frame. My goodness.
I don't think Pankraz caught that boss. He just caught, oh, there's Demist at the White Spear altar. But
Oh, that's a skip.
You're just looking for the delay here. And while Pankraz didn't go to the Riven Room first for the key items, he went to the Riven Room first because it's quicker to check it than it is to check the White Spear altar first.
We'll check the Maza altar next, and we'll see if this is the magic spot, which we all like to see. Delay.
Evil man! Here, Pankraz is in go mode. Maybe wishes he wasn't.
Well, with that edge in the first slot having the Avenger already equipped. I think this is going to go better than otherwise, but okay, this evil mask is going to get some nukes off here. So, ugh.
That was a Fusoya casting nuke. He tried to get the nuke off.
Oh, try to get
before.
it off of. Okay. I was wondering, I think Evil Wall went that fast.
No, not quite that fast. But this is a good grind.
That it is. Cecil's going to end up beefy very quickly. Avenger for Infinious, so that's not value. So Baron is a zonk, unfortunately for him.
And this Behemoth is a fight you don't want to be slow anchored for. Behemoths roll really low on agility. And
Okay, down you go again, Porum. This is a meme now.
Ooh, and it looks like Infinious has not found the Earth Crystal in Baron and has not found the Gauntlet in Baron because you're at the Moss Altar.
Yeah, bilocating Gauntlet would be a little bit out of logic, I think.
Plumeria Knight, our restreamer, points out it was just an Avenger from Baron.
Yes. Nice, but not the value you need. Get Cecil back up. That's nice.
You know, we've been seeing a lot of counterplay from Infinious, going to the sort of lower value, out of the way, gambling checks. Where do you think he's going first on the moon? Other than Cape Muhammad, of course.
Well, actually, in his case, he might be going to the last arm because he doesn't have the Earth Crystal, doesn't have the Twin Harp, doesn't have the Magma Key. I mean, he's missing 3 things that he needs. Oh, we'll go to the moon, though. I like trying the last arm chest, especially when the gauntlet isn't even found yet, because, you know, maybe it's there and maybe your opponent won't try checking it. And even though we don't expect Cure 4 on Porum, she has it, so yay. There's the crystal from the gauntlet, and is this the Earth Crystal, making this hard required? Let's see. Nope, just another Avenger.
But that's a very useful item.
Yeah, I think not the Z is ever a free
FF4FE doesn't
fight.
need to save. Well, actually. So long as he throws the crystal, this is free.
Might want to take that Avenger off the character that's currently
He's got it in
holding
the
it.
right slot.
Oh.
He adjusted his party order. You'll be fine. This is going to be fireworks.
All right. So, tell us a little bit about the Z flags we're seeing in chat there, Scarcer.
Well, Zromas is a bit of a complicated script. He does a lot of things. He does them very quickly. One of those, and they're all things that you don't want to happen at places like Antland Cave or Fabul Defense. So the wonderful developers of this randomizer have decided to leave Zromas where he is. Because it's still a randomizer, you got to do something. So our community has compiled hundreds of sprites to switch out Zromas when the crystal is thrown and his true form is revealed. Which leads us to the ultimate question. Whose butt are we kicking tonight?
And a whole bunch of ancillary side questions such as, does it have a head? Is it cute? Can it do taxes? And do a duet with Eddie on the guitar. Who knows? Whose butt is it anyways? Let's see. It is... but with a lot of weaponry apparently attached to it.
That robe makes me think this is a Kingdom Hearts character, but I've never played Kingdom Hearts, so I wouldn't know. Oh, this is Jays was pointing out in chat that this is from Final Fantasy 15. Arden from Final Fantasy 15.
Okay then. Actually, yeah, I think let's see, we got 15,000 between Cecil and Edge here, so there's a very good chance I think that we don't see any big bangs. Let's see.
Oh yeah, that's 0 big bangs.
Okay then.
FF4FE takes the victory here, brings the set to 1-1, and we'll be having a game 3.
That is one of the fastest Z fights I've ever seen in that case.
Yeah, the power of 2 Avengers and 2 characters that have the strength to properly wield Avengers. It's a wonderful thing. And we are now joined by FF4FE in the booth. GG's FF4FE.
And we are now joined. I guess push that button. Hey, thanks, GG's.
That was a bit of a jet there.
Well, I mean, when Fusoya has 700 HP virus and you have him at the 10-minute mark, things are gonna go kind of fast.
Were you worried about Porum getting XP at all in that seed? She seemed to go down quite a bit.
I mean, there were a couple points. Before Cecil showed up, I was worried, because my plan was to basically do Gigant Axe, Excalibur on both of them. Like Avenger glitch it off Edge, have Porum cast Berserk on herself, and let those two maybe do 12,000 round between them. Cross my fingers really hard, see what happens, and to do that I needed her to get XP, and she didn't. But then Cecil showed up, xPankraz the guy, and that solved a lot of things. For basically every moment up until that moment, her XP did not matter. We had Edge, he had a stick. We had Fusoya, he didn't need to cast Nuke until like the very end of things. Things were just, it played itself.
Were you trying for a third time to get HP ran out anytime after you saw the first two?
I don't need this. I don't need these personal attacks. I didn't try for either of them. It's just all natural around here. You can't.
It was still funny to see because it's a bit of a thing there, and to have it happen twice very quickly like that.
Yeah, but the first time I'm like, okay. I mean, I guess I could have sat there and waited a bit longer on the ice too. My bad. And then when it happened again, I'm like, come on. Come on. Like, I knew I shorted down the back doll. I see it sitting there and I'm like, this isn't going to go well, is it? I'm ready to press A. I'm ready to press A. HP right now. Funny, but slightly aggravating.
The true power of Fusoya is to be aggravating.
Yeah. That's what he's good at.
If Fusoya had not shown up at that Sand Ruby, would you have gone to Ordeals in the before going underground at least?
It would depend who is there instead. If Iridia was there, I'm going to Ordeals for experience because of that Leviathan that I got in the pot outside. I wanted to be able to cast that said Leviathan, take out some stale men, take out something, and get to town. If it's Cecil, we're probably going to Ordeals as well. Just because it's early enough and my party HP really stinks. So might as well go up there to try to get something a little extra. Other than that, I'm not sure. It would depend.
I don't think I have any other questions on my end. Scarce, you got any more things to ask?
No, just you have any final thoughts on the seed, FF4FE?
I mean, I've got one big question. That's going to be Infinious. What Dragon Quest game do you want to play after Game 3? Let's see what happens. He hasn't played any of them. We're chatting pre-race. I'm looking forward to Game 3. It's going to be a fun time. Glad we could make it there. Seed was an interesting one, but it was quick with a execution heavy focus and without the Earth Crystal at Dwarf Castle, so things worked out for me. I'm looking to hopefully have it work out for me one more time tomorrow night / 2 days from now morning, however you want to view it.
Well, for those of us on the West Coast, it is tomorrow night. It's at 2 a.m. Eastern on Sunday, right?
Yep, 2 a.m. Eastern Sunday, midnight my time, 11 a.m. over on the Pacific Coast, and for Infinious, that'll be 3 in the afternoon. That's a nice cozy, midday match. Should work out great. But till then, we'll see you all at that time, hopefully. Till then, have a great rest of the night, everybody. Thank you, Scarsor. Thank you, Garen, for the commentary. Thank you, Steph, for pushing those buttons. Thank you, Plumeria, for making, pretty pictures. We'll see you all around soon. Have a great rest of the night.
Have a good one, Pankraz.
All right, so yeah, as noted, the race 3 between these two racers will be just about a little over 24 hours from now, in the early morning hours of Sunday for those of us on the East Coast, or late in the day on Saturday for those on the West Coast, or adjust time accordingly. Sorry,
And we're joined by Infinious. GG's Infinious. It was well run. I appreciate all the counterplay you went through.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't work out. When you mess up that much in the early game and decide, well, I'm behind. I need to make gambles at some point. Gotta try something, and just didn't work out. That happens.
What did you think about the super hard required tower? 3 objectives gated in there.
Oh yeah, it was free objectives there, wasn't there? I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. Like I like as soon as you get that early tower, as soon as I was trying to remember where did I get an early tower key. That was the one thing I couldn't remember when I was running the seed. Was it through ordeals?
It was ordeals. So it was a
Okay, so it was
hard required ordeals.
okay. So I did. So that's what that's what my memory was telling me. I figured, well, I know it's kind of awkward because obviously early through, but like I figured that might have potentially been a way out would be if that that tower key was hard required, but unfortunately through meant you were obliged to make that climb anyway. So yeah, the scene just didn't play out to what I need to, I guess, my win conditions, and these things happen. You can't win them all.
Well, you'll have another chance soon. Do you have any big strategy going into game 3?
Get luckier.
I'm with you there.
I mean,
That's how I was feeling.
I mean, but pure and simple, like when you're racing someone at Pankraz caliber, you kind of do have. You kind of do have to get lucky at some point. You can't. That's like when. Look, I know people are calling me a good runner, but like, there's still a significant gap between myself and Pankraz. So I have to hope that the random number generator decides that that lands on my side for once. Well, I guess it's already happened once, I guess. So, but yeah, it should be a good one.
Despite what they say, lightning does strike twice.
I mean, it's more likely to, right? Because if the way it works is that if lightning can fire a path there once, no, it's more likely to strike there twice than anything because because of how that works. So just, but yeah, I think apart from like some early awkward early game rolls and like some slow fights here and there, I don't feel too bad. I just I committed to plays that just didn't work out.
Yeah, you ran this very well. It was well, it felt like a close game until it ran away.
Yeah, and obviously when I made the call, no, I can't, given my early game struggles, that okay, I know Pankraz is going to clear Silph as quickly as he can, so I can't do that. Let's do the other awful checks instead. And when Silph is hard required, and like you just throw up your hands and say, okay, yeah, move on, take the L.
Do you have anything for Infinious, Garen?
No, I don't think so. Sorry for trying to rush you out of the whole thing earlier. My wires a little bit crossed up, but no, it was a good race.
No, it's fine. I don't mind getting hurried up since I do want to get to have lunch at some point. So.
Yes, food is definitely always welcome, right?
Mm-hmm. But no, but yeah, thanks to both to the good PK for doing restreaming. Thanks to Steph for doing tracking, and thanks to you two for doing comms. This looking forward to game 3, and hopefully I don't make it too much of a fool of myself.
And thank you for allowing us to put you on the restream and putting on a good show. Hopefully your lunch goes well.
Yeah, it'll be alright. Cheers.
Cheers. That was Infinious, who finished in second place tonight with a forfeit. I believe we'll be moving on to raid for Enterprise 2 with the ongoing match between Possum Morpheus and Coffee and Chocobos. It's game 3 of their match. Whoever wins moves on to the round of 4.
All right, so with that, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.